let's get into episode 5 of Loki. Let's first summarize what's been going on in Loki, just because I need a quick rundown for myself as well. So I already got some notes written down about the episode. So yeah, strap in. Let's get into it. Alright, so I will be doing my eyeshadow while I talk about Loki. So if that bothers you, I'm so sorry, but get over it. I have nothing else to tell you. Literally nothing else to tell you. So it first starts out with Renslayer and Sylvie, you know, continuing their conversation from last time. What was really conversation? Sylvie literally was like, tell me everything, and Ravonna was just like, okay. Well, Renslayer tells Sylvie that she does not know who created the TVA, and Loki was also teleported to a place called the Void, and it's a dimension at the end of time where everything the TVA prunes ends up. So literally everything the TVA prunes, it gets dumped there, and nothing gets returned, and it's just terrible. It's just terrible for everybody who gets pruned. I do realize that the TVA's creator is hiding in the timeline beyond the Void. So this timeline creator, whoever it is at the end of time, and whoever it is the one that's running this show. So because this person is at the end of time, they cannot be detected. No matter what happens in Nexus event, nobody will know, because it's all the way at the end of time. Like, nobody's gonna look there. So that's why they're there. And so we start the beginning of this episode where Renslayer is like kind of trying to be like in like good graces with Sylvie, just to stall time. So Miss Minutes, who's suspicious as hell, she pretty much has a mind of her own. I don't know, in my opinion, I feel like she got a mind of her own. So she's still sus. I know there's one episode left, so they can't just like tie all the like loose ends at the end of this episode. I know that there's probably going to be a season 2, so they're probably not going to tie the whole Miss Minutes together, but she's very suspicious. Anyway, so Miss Minutes helps Renslayer like stall for time until the hunters can come and, you know, deal with Sylvie. Sylvie runs away before they can catch her, and so she realizes that she has to just go to the Void. That's the only way that she can escape the hunters. So what does she do? She prunes herself. Like, wow. But before she prunes herself, she steals Ravonna Renslayer's temp pad. So she's smart. She got something going on in her noggin, for sure. After interrogating Hunter B15, she's over it. She's just like, the TVA is all a bunch of bullshit, and you're a part of it, Renslayer. So I love B15. Like, I love her. And she basically tells Renslayer off, and Renslayer's just like, the TVA must be controlled. So like, Renslayer, I feel like she really does not know anything at all. Like, she doesn't know what's going on, but she still wants the TVA to exist. Now, I don't know if it's just the many years of her being this person that she doesn't want to go back. Like, even if she finds out who she was before, she's not gonna want to go back. And I have a feeling that's because she doesn't want to go back to King the Conqueror. That's the only explanation. I feel like that's the only explanation as to why she doesn't want to know her true past. Like, I'm pretty sure she fully believes everybody when they said that they know their past and that they had a past before the TVA. I feel like she doesn't want to go back to whatever it was because she has that gut feeling that it probably wasn't good for her. So yeah, I feel like that's the only explanation for Ravonna Renslayer, but I don't know. I do hope that gets resolved. Maybe like we get like a reason as to why she's like this. Like, why are you like this as a person? Why you gotta be like this? Because there's no reason for you to be like this at all.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
But by all means, whatever, Ravonna. So we go back to Loki. all in good fun. We love it. We're going back into the void. And so we passed by a bunch of different Easter eggs, which is like the best thing about this episode is just the Easter eggs. Like there's so many. So we got some Easter eggs like Kang Tower, which is directly connected to Kang the Conqueror. We got the Thanos copter, and this is something that was in the comics and it was obviously made to sell toys, but a lot of people like speculated back when Infinity War was happening that Thanos would have his Thanos copter with him. We also got a destroyed Sanctum Sanctorum. You can see that like the little corner. We also have a huge massive living tribunal head, and you can just see it there, and it's just very fun that they included the living tribunal in this. We also finally get to meet the other variants. We get to meet classic Loki, we get to meet boastful Loki and kid Loki, and we get to meet the love of my entire life, alligator Loki. I love him so much. He's adorable. I love him. There's a big massive cloud that's like looming over them, and it's like a creature. It's like a cloud creature. And so classic Loki is like, that's Goliath, we gotta go because we are his dinner. These Lokis have been running their entire time in the void from Goliath, but it is really cool that Goliath is included in this show is because Goliath is greatly connected to Kang the Conqueror in the comics. I'm telling y'all, if Kang the Conqueror is not in the next episode, what is all this for? I know that they're setting up Kang to be like, you know, to end up in Ant-Man and Quantumania, but let it happen now. Like, give us a taste, a little slither of Kang. I would love it. Anyways, Sylvie makes it to the void after, you know, she prunes herself, and you know, while she's running away from Goliath, because, you know, Goliath is coming for her. Goliath comes for everybody. No matter who you are, Goliath is coming for you. So while she's running away, she kind of like does this like cool ass little jump, and then they do like a little slow-mo, and she's like, and she touches Goliath and enchants it for a moment, and you can see what's beyond the void, and it's just a moment. I was just like, oh my god, what just happened? So she gets a glimpse of what's beyond the void and a possible answer. And so while she's running away, she sees this car coming towards her, and it's a pizza delivery car, and guess who it is? It's Mobius. I love him so much. Mobius saves Sylvie, and they have this like cute little banter while they do this like little chase. It's like a little police chase with them. I love it. The different Lokis are all talking about like how they came to be there, why they're escaping from Goliath, and like, you know, Loki's just like, what the hell is going on? The Lokis bring Loki back to their hideout because Kid Loki is their king, I guess. And they all respect Kid Loki so much, so they have this like little hideout for him and them, and Kid Loki is like sitting on like a Santa throne. It's the funniest and cutest thing ever, and he's drinking a high C while everybody else is drinking wine. It's so cute. Like, aw, like I love it. So we get a little pan over the ground above the hideout, and you can see that there's a Mjolnir just sitting there, and then you can see a jar where Frog Thor is trying to jump out and grab Mjolnir so he can escape, but unfortunately he probably won't escape ever. So Throg is just sitting there suffering forever, which breaks my heart. But Throg was also voiced by Chris Hemsworth. The writer and director Kate Herron also confirmed that on Twitter that Throg was voiced by Chris Hemsworth. They all like sit around, all the Lokis sit around while they discuss what the hell happened to them. What were their Nexus events? Kid Loki tells Loki that his Nexus event was that he killed Thor. This little motherfucker killed Thor. Are you kidding me? I live for it. Like, wow. Go off. Boastful Loki says that he grabbed all 6 Infinity Stones, and he almost, you know, did whatever he could have done with those Infinity Stones. And he also mentions that he vanquished Cap and Iron Man. I love him. Like, oh my god, that's iconic. Classic Loki explains that he lived his entire days as Loki did, like this Loki that we're watching right now, our Loki, live out his entire days all the way past Ragnarok, and then he says it all went to shit when Thanos happened, and what he did, instead of trying to stab him like our Loki did, he faked his death by hiding as a piece of debris in space. Wow. And then also escaped death and lived out his days on like a secluded planet like nobody else was. And so his Nexus event was that he missed Thor. Oh my god. He missed Thor and he left his planet to go and find him. That is the most saddest thing ever. The TVA showed up and took him before he could go find Thor. Like, what the fuck? This show just knows how to break my heart. I feel like these damn Marvel writers, they know what they're doing, because that hurt my feelings. I was just so sad. Okay. So Loki decides to leave. Like, he just wants to leave. Like, he doesn't want to stay and live out his days in this, like, hideout, because what the hell are they gonna do now? And so Loki decides to leave, and he comes up with this plan that he's just like gonna kill Goliath, and then they're all gonna escape. And then we break out into the scene of them laughing at him, and it's the cutest thing, because they do like they like cut to classic Loki, boastful Loki, and kid Loki laughing, and then they cut to alligator Loki just existing, and it's the funniest thing ever. They loved it. Like, this entire episode, they kept doing that. They kept cutting to all these different Lokis, and then alligator Loki is just sitting there existing, like, because he can't talk. He's just an alligator, and it's just the funniest thing ever. That's literally my favorite part of this episode. Alligator Loki just existing. I don't know what to tell you. I am a very simple woman. You give me an alligator that's dressed like a Loki, and I will love him forever. As Loki tries to leave, you know, because they're all laughing at him and they're like, oh, you're gonna fucking die, dumbass. And so he tries to leave and escape this hideout, and then he encounters President Loki. Oh my god. So boastful Loki ends up betraying Kid Loki and the other Lokis to go into this group that President Loki is running. President Loki is just trying to like recruit everybody to join his little team, and then everybody else is just like all the other Lokis, because there's like a team of Lokis. All of these like hunters, they're all a bunch of different Lokis. Like, you can see their helmets, they have the horns, so that means that they're Loki. Wow, President Loki, chef's kiss, if I do say so myself. All the Lokis end up betraying President Loki, and he's just like, you sons of bitches. And then alligator Loki goes in, chomps on President Loki's hand, and yanks it off, and then a whole entire fight ensues. And so classic Loki helps alligator Loki, Kid Loki, and our Loki escape by like doing this little illusion. Oh my god, classic Loki, too powerful, like, oh my goodness. I love classic Loki, okay? Anyways, so classic Loki, I love him. This man, he really just came onto this show and said, I'm going to literally carry this episode, and he did. Like, wow. You thought that Tom Hiddleston was good? No. Richard E. Grant is excellent as an older version of Loki, and I am living for it. And I live for the fact that he's actually wearing the classic Loki costume, and he's working the hell out of this costume. Like, I'm sorry, but he looks amazing. Like, he looks great, and he looks like he's having like so much fun as classic Loki. And it's the funniest thing, and I love it. So eventually they find Sylvie and Loki, and eventually they find Sylvie and Mobius, and then Loki reunites with Mobius and Sylvie, and it's the funniest and cutest thing ever. It's the cutest thing ever. I love them. And so Sylvie comes up with a plan to enchant Goliath, and she's just like, your plan sucks, Loki. Let's go with my plan, and let's enchant Goliath. While they wait for like the right time for Goliath to come near him and just, you know, do their plan, Loki and Sylvie have like this moment where they talk about their joint Nexus event, and they're like, what was that?
That's what she said. And you know what? What was that? Okay, James.
And it's just like awkward as hell. Sylvie, I feel like she's just friend zoning the hell out of Loki this entire time. Honestly, I thought that they were whatever. Honestly, at this point, I feel like they both realize that they're just friends, and so that whatever that was not, you know, whatever. I guess we'll get an explanation as in the next episode as to what that was exactly. But yeah, this scene has some crazy romantic undertones. I mean, the cuddling with that blanket was literally a tablecloth. You can't tell me anything different. That was a tablecloth. That was not a blanket. So next, Sylvie gives Mobius the temp pad that she stole from Renslayer, and Mobius chooses to return to the TVA, and his goal is to burn the TVA to the ground, which is like a little callback to when Loki is just like, I'm gonna burn this place to the ground, and he's like, you should start with my office. It's the funniest thing. Like, oh, it's sad. I love it. And then he asks the Loki variants to join him, and the Loki variants are just like, no, we're just gonna stay here because this is our home. So they stay. Then Kid Loki gives Loki the dagger that he used the entire episode and leaves him with it because he's like, here, you'll need this on your journey. And he's just like this in the background with his hands on his hips, like he's so proud he did something good. It's so cute. And then Mobius says goodbye to Loki and they hug. I don't want to talk about it. Not yet. Let's continue. So Kid Loki gives Loki this dagger, and this dagger is actually Loki's actual weapon in the comics, and in Norse mythology it's called Leviathan, I believe. But yeah, it's a very like special dagger to him, so we will probably see him wield it to its fullest potential in the next episode, which I'm so excited about. After the variants end up escaping, Loki attempts to distract Goliath with that dagger. He's just like, come and get me. Wow, this shimmer is like glitter. Like, it's not, like, this is not glitter. It's a shimmer, and it looks like this. Wow, it's all over my face now, but whatever. So as Loki's attempting to distract Goliath, Sylvie's trying to enchant it by herself. And so they both fail miserably until classic Loki comes and saves the day. He does this entire big massive illusion of Asgard, and it's his biggest illusion yet, and it's so glorious, and it's just, oh my god, it's amazing. And the music is building up, you hear that choir coming in, and it's beautiful. This score, Natalie Holt, hello, I love you. Wow, this score is amazing. It started welling up inside of me, that emotion, because of this like choir and the score just mixed together, and this scene of classic Loki building Asgard by himself, like this whole illusion, and it distracts Goliath, and then you know, he distracts it until Loki and Sylvie can like join hands together and try to enchant it themselves. As classic Loki does one last illusion, he's just like, glorious purpose. Oh my god, and he laughs and cries. It's just and then Goliath goes and destroys him. Yep, he dies. He goes out like a G. That scene really was amazing. Wow. Richard E. Grant, I was so attached to your character, and you were in it for like 2 seconds. Like, wow, no words, no other words. You know, Loki and Sylvie were just like, I didn't even know he could do that. And then Loki's like, they are so much more powerful than they think they are, and it's a moment. And so that gives them the spirit to want to try even harder and enchant Goliath. And so Loki finally has the discovery that he can enchant Goliath as well as Sylvie can, and they both enchant him, and it explodes, and it opens up and reveals a castle beyond the void, and they walk towards it. Oh, wow, what a freaking ending. I don't know what to tell y'all, but this show is just too good. Like, I really have no other words for you. This show is really incredible, and if you're not watching it, I don't know what you're doing with life. Maybe you have a job, but you still should watch Loki. Classic Loki really carried this episode, and I just am absolutely like in awe at how good this episode was for me. I thought that this episode just felt just so emotional and like powerful at the same time. my highs and lows of the episode. So going to my highs of the episode, we're gonna start off with classic fucking Loki again. Yes, I'm going to keep talking about him because that was just too good. The end where he just laughs and cries and like the emotion is building up and he's just like, this is his glorious purpose, and he realizes that moment is just like you felt it like you felt like this was his moment. This is what he was waiting for. Those years where he was in isolation, his glorious purpose wasn't to, you know, stay there and end up there. No, his glorious purpose was to sacrifice himself for himself. Natalie Holt, the score is absolutely amazing in this show. I have no other words for you but just love. Today is love. I love today. I cried like a baby after classic Loki ended up sacrificing himself. I thought it was just like the most powerful scene. It was so emotional and glorious, and I thought it was just so beautiful. I geeked out like crazy when I was watching it, and I was just like, oh my god, there were so many tears. I love that they included Throg in this. I thought Throg was gonna be like, you know, something that they weren't gonna include, but I love that he was an Easter egg, and I love that Chris Hemsworth actually voiced him. The scene where Mobius leaves and hugs Loki, and then Mobius calls Sylvie his favorite. Don't talk to me, okay? I have a lot of emotions. Of course, last but not least, Alligator Loki. You cannot tell me nothing. I love that he couldn't talk, so you just cut to him and he's just like there, just sitting there doing nothing but just blinking, and it's the cutest thing ever. He stole all of his scenes, like wow. And that was a CGI alligator. Wasn't even real. And it had so much power. God damn it. Kid Loki and him were like besties. I do hope that they're okay and they make it out of the void. But I think Kid Loki and Gator Loki are like able to take care of themselves. I mean, Kid Loki actually fucking killed Thor. That's a big deal. I do hope that we see them again one day. That'll be really cool, especially if he's part of the Young Avengers, because he is part of the Young Avengers roster. So I do hope that they include this actor, Kid Loki, to be in the Young Avengers movie, because I'm pretty sure they are gonna have one. Because we got America Chavez, we got Wiccan and Speed, and we're getting Ironheart. We're getting a bunch of Young Avengers. I know Miss Marvel is not a Young Avenger. She's a champion. So I don't know if they're going to change that for her. Let's get into the lows of this episode. For me, personally, I feel like there should have been so many more Lokis. Even if there was just like a glimpse or like a little clip of like other Lokis, I would have loved that. Seeing more Lokis would have been so fun, and I think that I definitely would have loved to see some more Lokis. That would have been so fun. I also feel that boastful Loki was cheated out of a good storyline. I know that he was, of course, like one of the Lokis had to betray the Lokis, but I feel like you know, I would have loved to see boastful Loki do some more, maybe do some like another heroic thing, just like classic Loki. I would have also loved to see that like he I would have also loved to see like a boastful Loki flashback where he like grabs the Infinity Stone. I would have loved to see Kid Loki get some more scenes as well. But I also hope that Mobius goes back into the void and like collects all the Lokis and like they all go into the TVA and just like take that shit down. That would have been cool if he started a riot. Like, that would have been fucking cool. A riot with all of the other Lokis and they're all, like, defeating all the hunters and, like, they're all enchanting them. And they're, oh my god, that would have been so cool. My last con is that this episode feels a little bit like filler. I feel like nothing really happened to, advance the plot other than them getting past Goliath. Like, that was it. Everything else, it's giving Lamentus 1 all over again. So that's the only gripe that I have with this. I feel like the episode does transition into the finale pretty well, but these fillers, man. Let's get into the theories. So I still have high hopes for Kang. I still have hopes that Kang will come into play in this show. There's so many different pieces of evidence that like, you know, lead up to Kang that are like sprinkled throughout the show. So if it's not him as the true big villain, our best bet that our other villain would be another Loki variant, like a King Loki, or like a really messed up version of Loki, like an even worse version of Loki, like the evilest version of Loki ever. I think that would tie the show all together and like really like click with the theme of Loki meeting other Lokis and like finding his purpose. That whole theme of like Loki and Sylvie meeting and having this connection, I feel like him having an adversary like King Loki would actually really like tie into the theme of Loki meeting other versions of himself and, you know, having those ordeals with them. I feel like him defeating and confronting another version of himself that is like absolutely the worst would be absolutely excellent. So I wouldn't be mad if it's not Kang and if it's a different version of Loki. I feel like that would be hella fun. I have a really weird feeling that Sylvie is going to betray Loki. I don't know, like a really like far-fetched feeling that she might be working with this person and she I don't know, I feel like she was meant to bring Loki to this place. I don't know. During this episode she's just like, how do I know you're not gonna betray me? And he's like, I won't. And then she was just like, but how do we know that you're not gonna betray him? I will cry if she ends up betraying him. Like that will really suck. So I saw a theory about Renslayer actually wiping Mobius's mind again when he tries to burn down the TVA. Like I'm like reading what I wrote. And if that's true, I will absolutely explode. If she and him fight and she overpowers him and wipes his mind again, I will absolutely explode. Like I will explode. No, I need Mobius to have his jet ski. I need him to go back to the 90s. I'm pretty sure that's where he's from. He's from the 90s. He should be. My last villain theory is that it could be He Who Remains. He Who Remains is like an all-seeing being and is also the director of the TVA at the end of time in the comics. That's the reason why it's my last theory is because it's simply too easy for audiences to consume. And it's probably true, which is why it's my last theory. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this happens, if, you know, we do meet He Who Remains and that's the big villain. No, Kang should be the villain of this show, if not in this episode, but in the post-credit scene. Okay, so man, you know how first Avengers, we see Thanos at the very end at the post-credit scene. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody knows who Kang is, if you're not like a comic fanatic, but if you are, you know Kang should be the villain here. But I do think that he could pop up in the post-credit scene and that King Loki might be working for him, if there is a King Loki, or if He Who Remains is actually Kang the Conqueror and it's revealed that it was actually Kang the whole time. It was Kang all along. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's gonna be a big twist and I'm so excited and I can't wait. Okay? I can't wait. Wow. But yeah, that is the end of this video. I really wanted this video to be quick and simple so I can edit this and, you know, upload it right before the finale. So happy with this episode. I thought it was so fun. I'm about to rewatch it again because I loved it that much. Okay, this is some quality content from Disney Plus. Props to you. I really love this show. I love the way it's going. And if you do, give this video a thumbs up. If you love the episode, give this video a thumbs up. If you hated it, I'm so sorry. Don't thumbs down this video. Why would you do that to me? Don't be mean. If you would like to see some more Marvel and makeup videos, let me know in the comments down below. If you want me to do a reaction and a Marvel and makeup video for episode 6, aka the finale, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know your theories in the comments down below right before the finale. Please, let's talk about it. I really do want to chat about it in the comments, so comment down every little detail or something that you saw in the episode down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to continue watching some more Marvel and makeup videos. Follow me on Instagram at cutcreaser and TikTok at cutcreaser as well for some more makeup tutorial focused videos and some makeup content. So yeah, that is it. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye!